What is up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Monday night's late night agenda. We were supposed to be covering the Everton Manchester City game over Mundo Sporto, but unfortunately that game was called off. So here I am with a bit of an impromptu late night agenda, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for coming along. Look, we're going to go through lots of stuff on tonight's stream. I'm going to go through my predicted 11 and score predictions and stuff for the game against Newcastle if that goes ahead. We're going to talk about the possibility of that going ahead. We're going to talk about maybe why I think the Manchester City game was cancelled. We'll talk about transfers. We'll try to talk as little as we can about the shit show that was the performance against Sam's West Bromwich Albion. But look, there is lots for us to get through, folks. Again, I really appreciate you giving up your time to be here with me. And look, let's start off with the big story of the day, and that is the cancellation of tonight's game. As we're recording this, of course, it is Monday night, and it was due to Everton were supposed to take on Manchester City. Now, a lot of different things are going around on social media, and as yet I've yet to see a specific reason as to why it was cancelled, other than, of course, Manchester City's players being struck down and Manchester City staff being struck down with COVID. I have a different take on this, and I just wanted to pitch it to you guys and see what you have to say. I wonder if the authorities looked at the fact that Anfield and Goodison Park are the only two stadiums left in the Premier League that are allowed fans to enter. So with 2,000 fans possibly being going to Goodison Park tonight to watch Everton take on City, I wonder if the authorities just thought the risk may be a bit too much for maybe, it could spread to the crowd or something like that. Obviously, to any players that are unwell, we wish them a speedy recovery. And I'm not on here trying to say that Manchester City are getting any favourable treatment or anything like that. I'm genuinely just trying to shed some light and have a conversation around the game being cancelled. And of course, then your mind turns to the fact that Newcastle recently took on Manchester City, and Newcastle are, of course, our next opponents coming up on Wednesday. So there's a lot of stuff to get through tonight, folks. And again, this will be probably me giving you guys some information and you guys giving me some back. So please feel free to put your thoughts on it into the chat. Don't be going low on this one. Don't be thinking it's Manchester City getting favourable treatment or anything like that. Let's remember as well that Newcastle did have a game postponed for the same reason a while back as well. So there is some consistency in this. But of course, it has lighted up a whole argument around people saying, is this the end of the season? Are we going to see the Premier League null and voided? Yada, yada, yada. I don't believe so. I think the clubs are still managing to keep their bubbles, and I think the numbers are still quite respectable from a Premier League perspective. Now, I don't know what happens with the lower leagues, and I don't know where we're going to go. As things stand, the Reds game against Newcastle is still scheduled to take place on Wednesday, and we will, of course, be covering that and doing a watch-along over here on Anfield Agenda. So let me just hand it over to you guys and see what you have to say. Hello to everyone, says Sanjeet. It won't be cancelled, but I can see it getting postponed again for a month or two if it continues. It's not. Is it that bad though? That's what I really want to ask tonight. Like, is it bad enough that we're going to have postponements? Because I think the numbers in the last few rounds of tests have been relatively okay. They're going to increase the testing as well for Premier League clubs to twice a week now as well. So I don't know. It's just an open conversation, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it, folks, before I go on to the preview and talk about transfers and stuff like that. Football is the only medication we have. Hope everything gets back to normal. And then Connor just put in Miguel Delaney, excellent journalist, works for the Independent in the UK, highly respectable, has said that there's no fear of the Premier League being suspended. That's great news. That is the news that we all wanted to hear. And Miguel Delaney, as I said, he's the chief football reporter for the Independent in the UK. I know Miguel. I've met Miguel. He's a top lad and a respectable journalist. So that's good enough for me. If Miguel said it, that's good enough for me. Is Thiago back fully? He is expected to be in the matchday squad for the Newcastle trip. Now, of course, him being out since October, there's no chance of him starting the game. He has to build up his match fitness. But as things stand, and the news that we're hearing is that, yes, he should be in the squad for the game on Wednesday, which is brilliant news. It's great to have Oxlade-Chamberlain back. It's great to have him back. We will touch on Naby Keita in a few minutes because unfortunately Naby's out for the game against Newcastle again with a muscle injury. Of course, we'll look at the whole Joel Matip situation and the centre-back situation as well. What else have we got? Who should start on Wednesday, Reece or Nat Phillips? I would say Reece, mate. I would say keep Reece there. Yes, he's going to make some mistakes or two, but Nat Phillips could as well. I just think keep progressing Reece Williams. So for me, I would have Reece Williams playing, mate. That's my thoughts on it. And again, I will go through my predicted 11 and stuff. Yusuf said, Craig, do you think if it gets worse, the Premier League can continue in a different country? No. Not a chance. They're going to uproot players, the training facilities, the bubbles, all that type of stuff. It just doesn't make any sense to move the entire league to a new country. I mean, logistically, that would just be a complete nightmare. I just can't see. There's no reason for it to happen either. City said, people make a mountain out of a molehill, it won't be cancelled or postponed. That's my take on it as well, buddy. But the only reason I'm the title of tonight's stream around the Newcastle game is, as I said, the fact that Manchester City, who have, unfortunately, a lot of people who have tested positive, they played Newcastle recently, and we know Newcastle had already had their own struggles with players being down as well. So that's why I'm wondering about Wednesday. But as things stand, so far so good. There's no talk or no take that game would be cancelled. Now, as I said, it was a very late decision to cancel the game today, and that will have affected fans and stuff as well. There will be no fans travelling up to Newcastle for the game, because obviously it's going to be played completely behind closed doors, so hopefully that will go ahead and there won't be any issues there. Ishmael said, how long is Joel Matip out? Mate, how long is a piece of string? I mean, the manager was talking, Klopp said that they've been managing him through a series of muscle injuries, and therein lies the truth. He is consistently picking up knocks and strains, and as good a player as Joel Matip is, and I don't think any of us have any doubts about the guy's ability, he is just not reliable enough. We cannot pin our season on Joel Matip. We do, as Jamie Carragher said, need to go into the market now and act. We can't fuck about. We need to go in January and get a centre back in. I love that Reece Williams is coming through. I love that Billy Comedio is coming through. Sepp Vandenberg, all those guys. But we have a title to win, and we need to go out there and secure somebody. And I don't care. At this point, we need to go out there and get a centre back, folks. I'm not even going to. I can't even fathom the fact that we won't or can't. I fully believe we're going to go in there and get it done. The media are saying one way or the other, maybe we will, maybe we won't. There's a load of talk again around this Origi-Kabak swap. I still think that Kabak will end up at AC Milan. If Schalke are struggling financially, which we know that they are, why would they accept just a player swap with Origi? It doesn't help their financial situation. They're going to have to get some cash in. Again, loads of clubs interested in Divock Origi. I've seen Leeds linked to Divock today. We've already spoke about the links from Divock to Wolves. There was even some talk at one point around Divock potentially going as a backup over to Dortmund to Haaland. I don't know, but I still believe, and I've said for a long time, that I think Divock Origi's time at Liverpool will be up once the January transfer window gets opened. What's this? Dishball 21 balls. Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. Thank you for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. If you guys want to join Anfield Agenda FC as well, it's $4.99 a month. Hit that blue join button, and what you get is you get the Anfield Agenda badge beside your name. You get all the custom emojis that we've designed, but most importantly, particularly with the January transfer window coming up, you get access to our private members only Discord group, which is where we dish all the gossip, all the little bits of information that we get from our friendly journalists and people that send us stuff, and the knowledge that the little few bits and pieces we get, we put into that group, and we make sure that those guys get the heads up on any interviews and stuff like that before anybody else. So if you want to become a member, instead of sending a super chat or something like that, why not become a member? Get something for your money each month. Is Ronaldo Sanchez in Liverpool shirt yet? No, and he won't be. I've said this numerous times. Ronaldo Sanchez, as far as I'm aware, won't be coming to Liverpool. Maybe to Wolves. Again, there is that Portuguese connection. From what I've read, though, no. And of course, we have to talk about Gini Wijnaldum as well, and I'll move on to do that in a couple of moments. Mary said, congrats on 61k. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, the growth that we're getting is only because of you guys and your amazing support. So from all of us, again, thank you for what you're doing for us. I know Connor thinks the exact same way as well. Inter Milan interested in Origi. Yes, that is another one. What's this gentleman's name? Massimiliano. Yes, I did see that, buddy. I'd read that, and it was probably one of the last things that I'd read before I started the stream. There was a report that Inter Milan were interested in bringing Divock Origi in as a backup to Romelu Lukaku. So I can't say for certain how much genuine interest is there from Inter Milan, but you are right, mate. There was an article put out to suggest that Inter were interested in bringing Divock in as a backup to Romelu Lukaku, so absolutely spot on with that one. Will said, is it just me who wants to get Brewster out of Sheffield United shambles? Well, I'm with you, mate. I can't speak for the rest of the camp, but and by camp I mean, of course, our subscriber group, but I really feel for Ian Brewster at this moment in time. Obviously, being friendly with Rian's father, I have a couple of bits of snippets here or there, but I'm not going to share them because that's personal information and I would never betray somebody's trust. But my take on this is, I just don't see why spend the money if you're Chris Wilder to bring Rian Brewster in and then bench him. Now, I know he did start the last game, but he was taken off as well. He needs to get a run of games together. I feel so sorry for Rian being stuck there at Sheffield United. I'd love us to have kept him. You heard me saying it at the time. I don't know why we kept Origi and sold Rian. It should have been the other way around. And I do feel really sorry for what's happening. I still believe in Rian Brewster. I still think that he's going to be a top talent. And I still hope that we bring him back to Liverpool, that we trigger that buyback clause that we have for 3 years at some point. What have we got? Is Salah staying? 100% yes. Don't mind any of these Salah stories that are going around now. Now, I can't speak past next summer, but what I can tell you is the club have no intention of selling Mohamed Salah. Real Madrid and Barcelona quite simply cannot afford Mohamed Salah, and that's a very important factor here. Financial situation in the league is terrible. You heard Lionel Messi talking about it recently as well. Loads of players having to take cuts in wages. Loads of clubs got into a whole heap of debt. And the fact that Real Madrid and Barcelona are nowhere near as appealing as they were many years ago, where Real Madrid particularly dominated the European Cup for year after year under Zinedine Zidane. No, he won't be going there. Why would he? Like, let's be quite frank about this. Liverpool are by far a better club right now than Real Madrid and Barcelona with regards to exactly this situation. We're sitting top of the Premier League. We're comfortably through to the last 16 of the Champions League. Mohamed Salah is adored by the Liverpool fans. I see no reason for Mohamed Salah to look or want to move anytime soon. Now, I'm not saying he's going to stay with the club for the entirety of his career. I would never say that. But right now, he looks like a happy man to me. Sean McConnell, of course you can, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Lovely to have you in. What have we got? The growth is because of your pure, underrated passion. You're a good man. Mate, honestly, you're making me smile with the name of Dived Moyes, but that means a lot, mate. Thank you. I'm just me. That's all I can ever promise you. All I can ever try to be on here is me. I'll make mistakes. I'll say stupid stuff. I'll sing horrendously out of tune from time to time. But all I want to do is enjoy myself. All I want to do is have fun with you guys on streams and take away maybe our worries for an hour or so while we do these streams. Right, what have we got? Rabadan, always so generous, mate, with the super chats. Thank you. Totally agree about the need for a new centre-back. Won't bore you with who I think we should get. Please do bore me, mate. I'd love to know. You don't have to super chat it, man. Just whack it in there. I know we disagree on this. Cough, cough, Napoli. Yes, I know where you're going with that. Obviously, you're talking about Koulibaly, mate. I just don't think it makes any sense long term, Rabadan. Now, of course, I do not disagree with you with the quality of the man as a centre-back. Koulibaly is an absolute beast. But you know where I am on this one as well, mate. I'm thinking Ben White, Pau Torres, Perishers. I'm still not convinced on Ozan Kabak either. But again, you're so kind, mate. Always appreciate the super chats and stuff. What else was there? Craig Mbappe news in the papers. Look, I'm a dreamer like the rest of you. I'd love a bit of hashtag Mbappe21. Of course I would. I'd love him to come to Liverpool. And he probably will move on next summer because he'll have 1 year left on his PSG contract. They've sacked the BTEC Klopp. Looks like they're bringing in Mauricio Pochettino. Will that be enough to keep the likes of Neymar and Mbappe? Or will they believe in the project? I can't say yet. But if it gets on to the summer, I don't know. I wouldn't say yes, it's going to happen, but would I like it to happen? I'm a dreamer like the rest of you. I'd love it to happen. And again, as we get that news, first ones to get it will, of course, any transfer gossip news we get, it'll go into our Discord group to our members first, as always. And then if we feel that it's worth bringing to you guys, and by worth, I mean credible, because we share everything with the Discord group, but we bring stuff that I can stand over into the chat. As an example, I said to you guys a while back that I think Mauricio Pochettino will end up in Paris Saint-Germain. He's going to end up in Paris Saint-Germain. I said to you a while back that Divock Origi was most likely going to try and engineer a move out in January. And I mean a good while back. It looks like that's happening. And I also said to you guys, I believe that Ozan Kabak will end up at AC Milan. And I still think that'll be the case. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. So again, if you want to become a member, hit the join button. It is only $4.99 a month. And thank you again for all of your support. Right, what else have we got in the chat? We're at the top with no defence. And how amazing is that? So, the frustration that we're all feeling right now, particularly after yesterday's shit show of a performance, We are still top of the table, and we will end the calendar year top of the table. And we can only get better from this point. We've got Thiago coming back. We were in third place in the league when we lost Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk. Now we're sitting on top of the league. Couple of points clear. Worst case scenario. It's not the worst, folks. It's not the best season we've ever had, but I can tell you we're going to get better, and I still believe Liverpool will win the league title by 6 or 7 points at the end of the season, and I'm standing over that. But there will be more points dropped. It is a crazy season. We're not going to hit that points total that we hit in the last couple of seasons. I never expected us to. I think the Premier League could be won this season in the high 80s, 86, 87, 88 points, something like that, maybe even a few less. According to The Athletic, we won't be signing a centre half. Again, I have a subscription to The Athletic, mate. I think it's a fantastic outlet for football fans to read great articles from great journos. And again, maybe that's the club being a little bit coy, because think about it from this scenario. It's known Liverpool probably need a centre back. If we're out there shouting and screaming that we're going to go for a centre back, only one thing is going to happen, and that's the prices will go through the roof. So let Michael Edwards go about his thing, and let's see what happens in the window. I mean, I don't ideally want us to have somebody in quick smart as soon as the window opens, but again, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Right, let's have, what have we got? One on the call. When are we going to start doing this reaction call-in thing? Probably first thing in the new year, Yusuf. So we've got Newcastle coming up. It'll probably be the game after that. Yeah, I'd say it'll be the game after that, mate, but we will be doing it, I promise you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, shall we move over and do the preview for the Newcastle game, and then we'll come back and go through more of your comments. So let me just switch screens right now. 1 second. There we go. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just see. Connor cuts this up, so I've got to get myself all ready to go for this one. Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the... No, I'm going to do that again because I made a mess of it. Sorry, Connor, you need a new cut point here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the preview. Reds travelling to Newcastle on Wednesday to take on Newcastle, which is going to be a difficult enough game, to be honest with you. I'm here to give you my score prediction, my starting 11 prediction, and everything in between. But as always, this show is brought to you in association with our sponsors, Boyle Sports, without whom we wouldn't be here. If you're going to have a little flutter on the game, firstly, do what I do, which is use one of the fantastic things that Boyle have at your disposal, which is the Opta Stats. When you're putting any bet on with Boyle Sports, they give you the option to have a look through the Opta Stats. It's one of the great initiatives they have on the site. So again, if you are going to have a flutter, we urge you to gamble responsibly. There is a link in the description if you'd like to sign up to Boyle Sports. And let me start out with my prediction. So my prediction for the game, folks, is this. 2-0 to the Reds. There you go. If you fancy backing my prediction, you can get that at Boyle Sports at 6-1 right now. And again, I've got another one on this as well. My other prediction for the game is Craig's bet for the week is Liverpool, a penalty to be scored in the game between Liverpool and Newcastle. Regardless of who scores it, it doesn't matter if it's Newcastle or Liverpool. Those odds are 9-5 with Boyle Sports. If you fancy a little flutter on that one, again, please do so responsibly. And when you sign up to Boyle Sports, lodge your first tenner, place your first bet. You will then receive at least one free bet, maybe even more, depending on whether in the UK or Ireland. And as always, our friends at Boyle Sports and myself do urge you to please gamble responsibly. So that's my prediction for the win, folks, is a 2-0. But let's get to the starting lineup, and then we'll talk through that and the reasoning why I went with this particular 11. So without any further ado, here's the starting 11. Right, ladies and gentlemen, obviously Alisson in goal, and I seen a brilliant thing put up on Twitter today. If you want to have a look, go to my Twitter account at Craig Houlden and you'll see what I'm talking about. Some gentleman put up a brilliant image of the save that Alisson made against West Bromwich Albion and the angle he had versus where Adrian's positioning was against Atleti in a very similar position in the Champions League, and it will just show you why Alisson is one of the best in the world. But anyway, Alisson in goal, Trent at right back, Robbo at left back. I'm backing Reece Williams to come in and partner Fabinho at the heart of that Liverpool defence. Midfield was a very difficult decision. I'm going to rest Curtis Jones, and I want to make something abundantly clear here. It is not because of what people are calling his major mistake against West Brom. The lad miscued a clearance that went for a corner. We could have still defended that corner. So all the blame should not lie with Curtis Jones for that one. Because yeah, he made a little error, but we still could have defended the corner. That's the important part here. Let's not jump on the kid's back. He's 19 years of age. He's coming on absolute leaps and bounds, and he's going to be a complete baller for this club. So please do not be having sly digs at him on social media or whatever. He made a little error, but let's not forget, we still could have defended that corner. But with that in mind, I think we should go a little bit different when we're taking on Newcastle. So I've gone for Gini Wijnaldum, Jordan Henderson and Takumi Minamino to take up that attacking midfield role. Up front, Mane, Salah and Firmino. That doesn't really change. But again, let me just talk you through why I'm going for Takumi Minamino in that attacking midfield role. I think he's getting used to it. We've seen glimpses of him in that role. It's a new role that Jurgen Klopp is teaching him to play. I think maybe with Thiago coming back as well, trying to just help us to play through the middle a little bit rather than having to go to the wide areas like we do with Trent and Robbo. An awful lot, to be fair. Takumi Minamino has shown flashes of what he's capable of, but every time I see and hear Jurgen Klopp talking about Minamino, he's only praising him, talking about how well he takes in information, how hard he's working, how strong he is mentally. And I think the game against Newcastle will be a wonderful opportunity to give Takumi Minamino a chance to really have a pop at that attacking role. Now maybe Bobby could drop a little bit deeper and Takumi could play through the centre, or we could play Mane through the centre. Either way, I'd like to see those four as attacking options. People are going to say, Craig, what about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? Again, it's a fitness thing. I don't think Chamberlain is there yet with regards to his fitness. So I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is a great option from the bench. Shaqiri as well is back in the squad. Another great option from the bench for the Reds. Curtis Jones could well come in and change the game as well. It's so difficult though, because usually midfield was a position where I used to talk about how many options Liverpool had. Right now, those options are getting less and less with injuries, but we're finally starting to get players back. I am as happy as anybody else to think that we're going to get to see Thiago very, very soon. He'll almost be like a new signing in the January window. I know that's a bit cringe, but that's genuinely how I feel about it. Now, Newcastle are no mugs, particularly not at home. I'm not expecting to go up there and it to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. They're capable of making it difficult for us, and as we know, Liverpool's away form this season quite frankly has not been good enough. So we have an opportunity to start putting that right. The players will want to bounce back from what was a horrendous second half against West Bromwich Albion. We allowed West Brom to play themselves back into that game. We allowed them to gain confidence. Now, who's to blame for that? Partly the manager, partly the players. And what I say partly the manager is, I fully believe he should have implemented a change and made substitutions earlier on when he's seen that West Brom were starting to play their way back into the game. Now, I very, very, very rarely have anything critical to say about Jurgen Klopp. How can I? The man has brought us to where we are. But that's my genuine opinion. I think he should have made changes earlier. He was, of course, forced into the change for Joel Matip when he was taken off with a muscle injury. And we did see Reece Williams come in, but I still think that he and the players are going to want to just go on the front foot, and I think we need to start putting more and more teams to the sword, like we did against like we did against Crystal Palace, like we did against Wolves. That's the type of performances I'm wanting the Reds to have away from home. Yes, it's more difficult, but it can be done. And if we want to lay down a marker and let people know that they're going to have to really work hard to wrestle this title away from the Reds, then I think Wednesday night at Newcastle is the perfect place to start that. Again, I'm going for a 2-0 win for the Reds, and with Boyle Sports, as you can see, that is 6-1. So if you stick a tenner on that and my prediction of the score comes in, you could potentially stand to win 60 quid profit, or of course, you could lose your tenner stake as well. That's why I always urge you to just bet 5s and 10s. Don't go crazy. Don't be putting on mad money, stuff like that. Ourselves and Boyle Sports just want you to enjoy the game, just want you to enjoy the fact that you have a little bit more interest in the football. And again, they're very, very positive about responsible gambling. It's something that they say over and over. When we first spoke to them, they were adamant that it is a very important part of what they do, and I'm proud to work with them. Connor's proud to work with them, and without the guys at Boyle Sports, without Emer, without Leon, who, by the way, you'll start to see back soon, because a lot of people have been asking me, where's Leon, Craig? What happened to the segment with yourself and Leon? He was away on holidays with the family. He is now back, so we should be having another section with Leon soon. And the good news is, folks, we're going to make that new section to include you, the viewer. So what we're going to do is have a winner stays on selection. So we're going to pick somebody out. They're going to give us their bet for the week. They'll get a tenner free bet if that wins, but also the winnings from that bet will go onto a charity, we'll hold it in a bank account for charity, and at the end of the season, all the winners' money will go to charity. And also, the winner stays on, so we'll have a scoreboard. So let's say, as an example, Joanne Fisher was the first one up, and Joanne gets 3 in a row right, makes 90 quid profit. That profit will go into the account, of course, to give to the charity at the end of the season. Joanne will get a free bet so she keeps on winning, and again, Joanne will go on the scoreboard. So then at the end of the season, we'll see who's gotten the most right, how much we can raise for charity, and again, massive shout out and thank you to our sponsors, Boyle Sports, for that one. Right, folks, that concludes the preview section of the show. Let me know what you guys think of my score prediction, my predicted 11, and what way you guys would like to set up. Really appreciate you watching, and up the Reds. Right, folks, apologies, that was just me having to do all of that for Connor to clip it up later on. Now let me get into the chat and see how you're all feeling about the predicted 11 and the team and stuff as well. Let me just scroll back down to the chat, and then I'm going to switch back to studio. There we go, studio's back to normal. Right, here we go. Cube, welcome back to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. Really appreciate you renewing your membership. What's this? Hassie says, Thiago Alcantara. Brian said, sorry, can you put your team up again? I missed it. I can go through it for you, Brian, no problem. The fact that it was up there for so long, probably, I know, but I was just on a bit of a ramble at the time, mate, so it's all good. I know you've seen it, mate. I get your sarcasm. Well played. What have we got? Is it just me, or can I wait for us to wear the away kit? Yes, Yusuf, I love the away kit as well, mate, and I'm really looking forward to us wearing it. How likely is the game to be postponed? Haven't got a clue. That's the honest answer, mate. Haven't got a clue. What channel is the Liverpool Newcastle game on? I think that it's on Amazon. I could be wrong. If it's on Amazon, that means in Ireland it'll be on Premier Sport as well. So I think it's on Amazon, but again, I could be wrong on that one, folks. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know. Craig, is Kloppo showing signs of cracking? I would say no, mate, but I would say, in fairness to all managers throughout the Premier League, it must be very difficult in what they're having to cope with. Apart from the fact that they're all human beings that have families and their own emotions, they have to remain professional and look after the welfare of everybody throughout the club. So the playing staff, the coaches, the tea ladies, everybody, the grounds people. And that takes its toll on a lot of people. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few managers maybe being a bit snarky from time to time, because I can't even imagine the immense pressure that they're all under on a daily basis with where we are in the world. So I don't think he's cracking, but I certainly think he's probably a little bit peeved, particularly around the 5 substitution rule, which I can already hear people on the keyboards typing away going, but why does he want 5 subs when he never makes them? I can't really argue against that, to be honest with you. I would like him to start making some substitutions earlier in games. It is on Amazon. A lot of people are saying in the chat. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that one. David Farm said, big mistake if the club let Genie leave. Give me 1 second and I'll get straight back to that topic, buddy, because there's a super chat come in and I just want to read it out before I forget, because I am that dozy that I probably would forget if I didn't read it out straight away. Philip Hunt, how are you, sir? Said, big up Craig, love the channel. I'd rather have Henderson play at centre back with Fabinho. Our midfield has a lot of depth. What do you think? Or excuse me, who do you think will sign? I get your idea, and look, we've seen Hendo play at centre-back before. I'm just trying to think of the midfield options then. Would that see us go with what? Genie, Curtis Jones maybe, and Minamino, something like that? Again, entirely possible. Who do I think will sign? My head says that we'll try and make a play for Ben White or Per Schurz. That's what my head says. I'm going to pester the shit out of people, put it that way, to try and get the information that you guys need. And as soon as I do get it, I'll let you know. My preference has always been Ben White. I've said it for a long time. Per Schurz is somebody who was on trial at Liverpool before. You've heard me say this. They were impressed with what they seen. Send him back to Fortuna Sittard, where he was made captain, and now he's gone on to Ajax. And I know for a fact that 25 million euro will get you Per Schurz from Ajax, and that will be the number that will make them sell, particularly with the fact that they've been knocked out of the Champions League and have dropped into the Europa League. So I know he's available for 25 million euro. That's pretty much a fact. So again, don't rule out him. What else have we got? I did say I'd go back to the Genie situation. Right, here's where we are with Genie Wijnaldum. I'm sure you've all seen or heard about the Fabrizio Romano tweet that went out to say that Liverpool have put a contract offer down in front of Genie Wijnaldum, and that Genie Wijnaldum has asked for time, a few days to think it over, and that he will get back to the club and let them know whatever decision he has made, whether that be to take the new contract or that he's going to move on, maybe sign a pre-contract elsewhere in January. All of us, to a man, woman and child, hope that Genie Wijnaldum signs and agrees that new deal. The club have put an offer on the table for him. We don't know what that offer is, but at least we know the club have laid down an offer. It's up to Genie now what he wants to do. Does he want to move on, have another chapter in his career, or does he want to continue on with Liverpool? I hope he continues with the Reds. Everybody I've seen on social media has been hoping that he signs that new deal. All we can do is wait and see. But what I will say to you is we will know the answer to this over the coming week, because Genie's not going to hang around. He's got to let the club know. When the club knows, we'll know. So we'll either hear an announcement or we'll know that Genie's going to move on. But either way, it's going to be a horrible few days waiting to find out. And if he does move on, then we start talking about, of course, what we're going to do in the summer with regards to potential replacement and stuff like that. So we'll go from there, mate. That's all I can really say at this moment in time. Dominic Rich, how are you, sir? Hope you had a lovely Christmas and Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year. So big up Craig and all my peeps in here. Dominic Rich is a Manchester City fan, friend of the channel, top lad. Does have a little dig at Liverpool from time to time now, Dom. I do notice, but you know what? It's all part of the fun, isn't it? I like digs at Manchester City as well, but Dom is a top dude. Again, Dominic Rich FC, big up to you, mate, as well, and a Happy New Year to you. Isn't Ben White a little short for centre-back? 6'1", which is on the small side of centre-backs, and that is... the scouting report on Ben White did show up that is an area for concern with Liverpool. His aerial duels, apparently the percentage wasn't as great as they would usually go for with regards to a centre-back. Now I hear it's a fair point, 6'1", to me, that sounds like a fairly normal good height. I'm only 5'10", but when it comes to Premier League centre-backs, you're usually talking 6'3", 6'4", and upwards. So it's a fair comment, mate, but I'm going to be talking to Darragh McAnthony soon, who is the chairman of Peterborough United. We're going to get him on for an interview. He's been a massive advocate. He's a Red as well, by the way, huge Liverpool fan, of Liverpool trying to sign Ben White and why they should go out and sign him. So I will be talking to Darragh McAnthony about that when I speak to him soon as well. And again, for those of you that aren't aware, we've just secured the biggest interview we could have ever hoped for on the channel. I'm going to be talking to the legend that is Jack Mate very soon. We're just trying to pin down a time for that interview. Massive shout out to Jack Mate, not that he needs one, for agreeing to come onto the channel. Really interested to talk to Jack about football, about his rise to stardom, and about what a damn fine dude he is, because he is one of the best YouTubers out there for reaching out, interacting with people and having a laugh. So again, keep it tuned to Anfield Agenda. There's more massive interviews coming along as well. I can't believe I'm saying these things. It's amazing. I was looking through who we've interviewed just over the last year alone, and I've forgotten a lot of the names, but obviously we've interviewed Ian Brewster Reinstad, we've interviewed James Pearce a couple of times, we've interviewed Jan Aga Fjordhoft a couple of times. I got to sat down on a stage at the launch of La Liga TV and interview my hero, the man that made me want to start making content, Mr. Graham Hunter. I also got to interview Guillaume Balaguer, and by the way, all of those interviews are up on the channel for those of you that might be new to us and aren't aware. Just have a look back through the Anfield Agenda videos and you'll see them. And there's more coming, folks. That's all I can say. We are working our asses off, and we can only do that because of our sponsors, Boyle Sports, that have allowed us the freedom financially as well to keep improving the channel. And we got a lovely comment the other day from somebody to say you can see the improvements that you've reinvested into the channel over the course of your time on here, because Connor put up the best moments of Anfield Agenda, and if you haven't had a watch of it, please do. There is an audio warning, by the way. You want to step away or have your volume low for that. But the best of Anfield Agenda is now up in clip form on Anfield Agenda. It's fair play to Connor. He took the time to clip it up as well. Our other channel, Mundo Sporto, now has 3,150 subscribers already, which I can't believe. We've got loads of new shows coming up on that channel throughout the season as well. Make sure you subscribe to that one. We're going to be doing a Premier League review show with the likes of Lee Chappie, with the likes of the guys from All Leeds TV. I'm going to maybe invite Corey, a West Ham fan, on there. Probably Dave, the Wolves fan as well. Maybe get Dominic Rich on. We're going to have loads of people in a roundtable discussion, a virtual roundtable discussion. So much more to come. So again, make sure to subscribe to Mundo Sporto as well. There is a link in the description for that. That's where we're going to be doing our all non-LFC content. Watch-alongs of the games, Premier League review shows, maybe even a little bit of boxing as time goes on as well. Because I'm going to be driving down to Cork in the new year to interview the legend that is Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Gary's invited us down to his house to conduct that interview. Obviously, we'll wait till it's safe to do so from a COVID perspective. If you don't know who Gary Spike O'Sullivan is, he is an Irish middleweight legend, challenged twice for the world title that I'm aware of, only lost to world title holders as well, fought Chris Eubank Jr. and flies the Irish flag proudly and massively. Only downside is he supports United, but, you know, we'll insert a banter as and when necessary. Right, let's go through comment. How are we doing? Hey Craig, how are you doing? I'm brilliant, Adam. Absolutely flying, mate. Loving life. Ben White was earlier very hot when Liverpool needed both left back and central defender, but after Liverpool signed Tsimikas, Ben White is too expensive compared to better options elsewhere. He is going to be more expensive. I can't deny that, mate. You're spot on. But you always have that premium when you're looking to bring in somebody with Premier League experience or that is English. And one of the remits that seems to be put out there from Jurgen Klopp with regards to a centre-back is that he wants somebody with experience in the English leagues. That's what's been written about. You know, I'm not in Kloppo's head, but you make a fair point, mate. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Dom, I'll be in touch, mate, about that. Honestly, it's our new channel's taken off and we're going to be having a review show. So each week there's going to be 4 of us on that show, and I'm going to rotate the hosting duties as well. So one week maybe I'll be the host, one week maybe Lee Chappie will be the host, one week maybe Dom, one week maybe Joe from All Leeds TV, just to give different perspectives on the Premier League without my bias as a host. So yeah, again, we're given a stage for people to show what they're capable of as well, because we love promoting the best of YouTube talent that's out there. We're doing it now with Nothing But Reds on our own channel, Anfield Agenda. You've probably seen the Nothing But Reds guys, Kyle and Steve, do the team announcement show before the game against West Brom yesterday. Nothing But Reds Agenda is going to be their weekly show on Anfield Agenda, so make sure you go over and give Kyle and Steve a follow at Nothing But Reds. 2 top American Reds, 2 lovely fellas as well. Wow, I feel like I've gone through a lot there in the last few minutes, folks. So let me just go through more of your comments, because that's what I love to do. What have we got? Yes, Craig, please get Dom on. Hey, I've chatted with Dominic a couple of times. Always happy. Dom, always happy to jump on your channel if needed as well, mate. But look, you know me, folks. Dom's a friend of the channel. Happy to have Dom on for a chat. Always enjoy him. He's a good dude. We have some fun when we talk as well. What is it with us playing against the smaller clubs? Do we come into these matches overconfident? Hashim, that's and hello to Ibrahim as well, by the way. Welcome in, our Manchester City supporting friend. Again, an absolute gent. Anyway, Hashim, to answer your question, buddy, I don't know. It's a fair question. I don't like to think that these players would ever be complacent, but maybe even dropping off 5-10% mentally, that can cost you in the Premier League. That can come back to bite you in the backside. So I can't say for certain, mate, but maybe. It's a fair question. Any news on Akanji from Dortmund? He would be a great signing. He would be a very good signing, mate. And again, that's one that I keep forgetting about. Certainly one that Liverpool have been linked with before, and certainly one that we should be keeping an eye on. So well played, Moroni. That's a great shout, actually, mate. Thank you. You guys are on fire tonight, by the way. Anfield Agenda subscribers knocking it out of the park, which is why I'm always bigging you guys up as well on social media and saying, I honestly believe we mightn't be the biggest channel in the world, but I honestly believe that we have the best, nicest, most friendly subscribers and live chat anywhere, and that speaks volumes for you guys and the characters that you are. That's why we love each and every one of you crazy motherfuckers. Sorry for the language, but it's my way of giving out some love. Spike O'Sullivan gets ironed out every Friday. Now relax now. He's only lost the world champions, mate. Relax. Gary Spike O'Sullivan deserves respect. and he'll get it from me because he's a top lad. And there's a little bit of history with my family and boxing, and a friend of my father's is somebody that Gary knows very well as well. An Irish heavyweight, Niall Kennedy, you might have seen him fighting recently as well. Niall Boom Boom Kennedy's his nickname. He's a police officer here in Gorey, the town that they live in as well. He's a good friend of Gary Spike O'Sullivan. He fought recently actually on one of the Matchroom cards. He fought Babbage. He actually got stopped by Babbage, who is a bit of an animal. Again, so there are links to me and Gary, and I just want to sit down and talk with him because he's a top lad and he's great fun to chat with on social media and that as well. Right, what else have we got? This Everton vs City got called off. Now there's a chance us be Newcastle may face the same, said Mark. I don't know, mate. I've seen no confirmation yet of any real concern about it. But the fact that Manchester City did play Newcastle in their last game, I don't know if that will have any effect. Again, there will be tests carried out on the Newcastle players like there are every other club. And we'll wait and see what happens there. But if we get any breaking news on that, we will, of course, give it to you straight away. Do I like Skriniar? He's alright. And I don't think Inter are going to let him go. And I don't think he's a good fit for Liverpool. He'd strike me more as the type of player that maybe United would go in for. Like I kind of get that vibe off him. Any chance of us going after other positions as well as defence? I wouldn't say so in January. Not that I'm aware of. Now, of course, there might be some young talent that the club might look to bring in. We do have Harvey Elliott still on loan at Blackburn to bring back at the end of the season as well, which is great. So I don't think so, mate. I think the main business will be done in the summer. All I can really see is a centre-back in January if we do any business. Why are we talking about Newcastle off? Is it because they played City on Saturday? Yes, that's why we're a little bit concerned, Paddy. Just wondering what may happen there. So again, if we get any updates on it, we'll be the first to give it to you. Did we dodge a bullet with Timo Werner? No, we didn't. Nor did we dodge a bullet with Christian Pulisic. He's just not being coached by a coach that's good enough to get the best out of him. Bring in Timo Werner and then start playing him out wide left. I know Timo did play wide early on in his career, but he should be playing through the centre. So I would say that Frank Lampard is making a bollocks out of Timo Werner so far. Timo Werner is a good quality footballer. Look, we got a fantastic player in Thiago Jota. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite and rewrite history. I did say I'd like Timo Werner. I did say I'd love Christian Pulisic. And I stand over both of those. But my God, do I love Thiago Jota as well. What a signing he's been for the club. So I wouldn't say we missed the trick. I just don't think he's been given the opportunities or given the right coaching yet. But that's, in fairness, he is still settling into the Premier League. So it's always harsh to judge somebody in their first season. I think you need to give them time to settle in. Craig, did we sign Thiago? Yeah. Yes, I can officially announce that Thiago will be a Liverpool player on the pitch. Maybe from this week, but certainly from January. Do I like Upamecano? I do. But here's why we won't be signing Upamecano in January. We've obviously got Leipzig to play in February in the knockout stages of the Champions League. Leipzig are not going to want to sell us Upamecano and weaken themselves before that tie. Getting through to the next round would probably, which I don't think they will, by the way. Of course, I think we're going to win. But they're not going to sell us Upamecano or Canade. Now, Upamecano does have a 40 million quid release clause that kicks in the summer, and that's when I expect him to move on. I fully expect somebody, maybe Manchester United, if they don't get a centre-back in January, to go in there and try and trigger that clause. Now, if we don't sign a centre-back in January, maybe we could look at Upamecano in the summer. Who knows? What else we got? Any chance of Kimpembe, because I feel like he'd be great for us. I do like Kimpembe as a defender, mate. I've seen or heard nothing really linking him up with a move away from PSG, but I like where your head is at because I do think Kimpembe is a quality player. Do you think that Messi will go to the MLS? I'd rather him go to the MLS than see him come to the Premier League and play against us because, you know, I think Lionel Messi is fantastic, but what a coup that would be for the MLS. I mean, where would he go to? Who could afford his wages? He spoke about it being a league that he would like to play in someday, so you can't rule it out. I think he is going to leave Barcelona in the summer. Now, I've always said to you guys, I believe that Victor Font is going to win the Barcelona election and that eventually he will sack Ronald Koeman and that we will see Xavi installed as the next Barcelona manager. Whether that will keep Lionel Messi at the club, or I don't know. But he definitely did talk about the MLS being somewhere he wouldn't mind going to. Thoughts on Keita's injury? That's where I was going to go next, Shane. So thank you very much, mate, for steering me in that direction. Look, I have been somebody that has defended Naby Keita over and over and over again. It's getting more and more difficult to make the argument to defend his injury record. As a player, I still stand over the fact that I think he's a quality footballer. And when he's on the pitch, I think that speaks for itself. But I don't know where this horrendous injury record's appeared from. The club would, of course, have done all their research before they made the signing. It is frustrating as hell for him, for Klopp, for all of us as fans. People will say sell him, but if you sell him, what value are you going to get for him? You're not going to get anywhere near what we paid for him. Can the club iron out these muscle injuries? I don't know. I'm sure that they're going to investigate them thoroughly, send them to any specialist that they can send them to. Look at everything. Look at his hydration. Look at his nutrition. Look at the level of minutes that he's playing. Look at how hard he's working and training. The club will leave no stone unturned. But I do understand where people are coming from. It is very, very frustrating when, like Joe Matip, we keep seeing these repetitive little muscle strains. It's not one long injury like the likes of Virgil van Dijk has suffered. It's a load of little things that is not allowing Naby Keita to really get a run of form together and not allowing Klopp to really give him a chance to get a run in that midfield. So I understand everybody's frustration. He's ruled out of the game against Newcastle on Wednesday, according to the manager. Again, he said he felt something in his muscle. All I will ask for is that people just don't throw him under a bus. If you don't think he's right, I get your opinion. It's getting harder to defend it from my side. But all I ever ask for is that people be respectful towards our players. That's it. You are, of course, all entitled to your own opinions. But like we do on the platform with everything else, we just ask that you treat him with respect. But look, I get where you're coming from. It's getting harder for me to sit here as a fan of Naby's and try and stand over the injury record because it's very difficult. What have we got? Messi will sign for the Phoenix Rising, said Dara. Oh, I don't think that he will, Dara. I mean, I think that's hopeful thinking on your part, being a Phoenix native, buddy. Have you revised your position that Jota is a starter over Firmino if both are fit? I don't believe that I ever said he was a starter. I think I've always said I'd like to see the front four playing in a diamond formation with maybe Bobby in the attacking midfield role. Again, I could be wrong and I may have said it one time, mate. So if I have, I'll hold my hands up to that. But I don't remember ever saying that because Firmino's my favourite player. That's why I'm a bit baffled of thinking that I would have said that. Bobby's my favourite player at the club. That's something that all of the viewers know. So yeah, I don't know if I've ever said that. But what I would say is it's a great option for us to have, whether that be to rest one of the front three or to have all four out there on the pitch tearing it up. So I love Bobby Firmino, which is, again, I don't know if I said that or not, to be honest with you, mate. An armchair said, I'm bored of Keita now. Again, as I said, you're perfectly entitled to your opinion, mate. You're somebody who's a regular viewer of the channel, puts in some decent comments, so yeah, you're entitled to that opinion. Jamie McKen, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that surname, said, why could the game be cancelled? The problem, mate, could be that with the amount of positive cases that Manchester City have, you take into account the fact that they played Newcastle recently, and the worry would be, is there any transmitted cases? Now, we don't know. The simple fact is we don't know. But it's just a question that we put out there that we hope we'll get an answer on soon enough. As things stand, the game is still scheduled to go ahead, and we will be doing a watch-along over an Anfield agenda as normal. Steve Baxter says, Matip, Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Shaqiri, all quality players, but all way too injury prone. I don't disagree with anything that you've said there, mate. Yeah, fair play. I mean, this is a fair comment. Look, folks, if you are enjoying the stream, by the way, please do hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video as well. What are we at? We're only at 200 and something likes. We can better that, can't we? Drop a like on the video, and let's see if we can make that 61 turn to 61.1. Let's see how far off we are. 1 second. I'll tell you exactly how far off we are. 7. We need 7 more subscribers. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. And let's see if we can finish the stream at 61.1k. Again, I'll be doing a watch along over on Mundo Sporto tomorrow of Manchester United's game against Wolves. I'll be starting from about 7:45 over there tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed and get your notifications turned on to Mundo Sporto, which is our second channel. There is a link in the description to all our social media accounts, to Mundo Sporto, to the Anfield Agenda Clips channel. So make sure to have a look in there as well. Be going live from 7:45 tomorrow. Let's see how the Manx get on against Wolves. It should be a fairly interesting game. And again, I'm looking forward to watching it as a neutral and seeing how it works out. Mark Williams said, Craig, read me. Okay, Mark. You don't like coffee. Not a massive fan of brown bread either, mate, from what I'm trying to gauge. You're very fond of your hair. I like your hair, looks well. I think that's the only read I can get in you yet, mate, from one sentence. Would love Jack Grealish, said Epic Vids. The question I've always had about Jack Grealish and in a system like ours is, would he break up play, the pattern of the play, because he gets fouled so much? I mean, he's having a great season. He's playing absolutely wonderful, but he would cost a fortune. Craig, do you know why Genie is stalling on a new contract? I think it's just a matter of taking his time, having a chat with his family, seeing how they feel, seeing if he thinks it's time for a new chapter in his career, seeing if he thinks he'll get enough game time at Liverpool, seeing if he's happy with the length of contract, seeing if he thinks that the wages that have been offered to him are wages that reflect his senior status in the squad, which they should, in my opinion. Genie deserves a massive pay rise for all the great contributions he's made and the fantastic performances he puts in and week out. So I would imagine he thinks this could be the last chapter of his career, and he just wants to see if he feels it's the right move to stay at Liverpool or move on. And I fully respect his decision either way, because he's honouring his contract, and that's all we can ever ask for. What have we got? Big fight coming up, Craig, January 2nd. Which one is that, mate? Is that Garcia against what's his name? The English guy that was in the Olympics. What's his name again? Oh my god, this lad's name, Luke Campbell. Is that the one you're talking about? Garcia versus Luke Campbell, Dara. I think that's January 2nd, if my memory's correct. Former Valencia defender Eskil Gray is one step away from becoming a Liverpool player in addition to the Argentinian Militao from Real Madrid. Look, this thing about Garay, we could have signed him at any point. Why would we wait till now to sign a free agent who can be signed at any point? Now, the Militao thing, I have seen us linked to him, and I don't think that it's true, to be honest, but it could be. I could be wrong on that one. But the Garay thing just doesn't make any sense. He's a free agent. We could have signed him at any point. So if Liverpool were genuinely interested, why would we be hanging around? So that's why I don't think there's any truth to that one. Do I think Thiago is back? He is back, mate. Yes. When he starts to get minutes, I don't know. Should be in the squad for the Newcastle game, but if not, definitely for the following game. But you're going to see Thiago get 10, 15 minutes to start with, maybe 20, then half an hour. Then he might start a game and play the first 45, then come off at an hour. It'll be a steady progression to get him back because of that absolute prick, Richarlison. Sorry, I wanted to try and think of a better word, but prick is the best I could come up with. And that horrendous tackle that has kept him out since October, well, that smiling, smirking little twat has been able to carry on playing in the Premier League. So it's going to be great when he comes back, and the Premier League should be worried because Thiago, it's going to be amazing. Can I shout out Trinidad and Tobago, West Indies? Absolutely, always happy to. Shout out to everybody watching from Trinidad and Tobago, and lots of love to all of us, or from all of us to you guys. Mate, you're going to get booted out now for spamming the same comment from 2 different accounts. So I'm not going to answer your question, but consider this a warning. Don't spam like that or you'll end up getting booted out. Why would the Newcastle game be postponed? Again, mate, I know you've probably missed the start of the stream. The reason possibly could be, and I'm not saying it is being postponed, I'm saying it's a question, because Newcastle played Man City recently and Man City have had a whole host of positive cases. So the question then is, do we perhaps worry about that game being cancelled if there's any other transmission? We won't know yet. We're going to have to wait and see. Right, well played, Liverpool fan. Thank you for kicking that idiot out. Fabinho's a great central defensive midfielder, but I'd love to see him and Verts play alongside each other at centre back. I've said that, Will, for ages now. I think when Van Dijk comes back, I want Fabinho to stay as a central defender and play alongside him, and then have Henderson, Thiago, and let's say Gini Wijnaldum, or Henderson, Thiago, and Takumi Minamino, or Henderson, Thiago, and Bobby Firmino in the attacking midfielder role. I mean, it would just be phenomenal. And I hope that's where he stays. I know he's one of the best holding midfielders in the world, but imagine him and Van Dijk alongside each other at centre-back, with Thiago and Hendo and whoever the attacking midfielder that Klopp goes with is. Whoo! That would be amazing. Right, one more before I finish up. With Pochettino at PSG, do you think he'll reunite Neymar with Messi? Could well try, mate. Absolutely. I mean, Neymar has made no secret of the fact that he'd love to play with Messi again. If there's a club that could afford to pay Messi those wages, it probably could be PSG, and maybe that would soften the blow of a potential loss of Kylian Mbappe at one point. So again, we'll have to wait and see how that one shakes up. But look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Again, tomorrow I'll be on Mundo Sporto at 7:45 p.m. with a watch along of Manchester United's game against Wolves. Don't forget to subscribe to that channel, turn your notifications on as well. Wherever you're watching in the world, thank you for tuning in again. Lots of love to you and your families. Hope to see you soon. Again, as I said, it will be here tomorrow. We've got the game then on Mundo Sporto tomorrow. Game then on Wednesday against Newcastle, which of course we'll be doing a watch along on. And a post-match show as well. You can see why I'm heading off now. I'm starting to stumble my words because I'm getting tired. But look, love you guys as always. Massive love to your